Yes. So, yesterday I would like to start whatever we learned in the previous chapter. As I told you that biology has many branches, and you can see here that taxonomy, ecology, genetics. As I explained you yesterday, genetics is a branch of biology that deals with heredity and variation, and paleontology is the study of fossils, molecular biology, forestry, animal husbandry, poultry, most of the common words that you are aware of. So these are the just branches we dealt yesterday. So today, as I said, I will start with the life processes, which is the characteristics of living organisms. So let us begin and see here in this slide. You see this life process. These are characteristic features of all living beings, and this life process is required to maintain our life, and it helps us to remain alive. Without some basic processes we cannot carry out our life. Now, cellular structure, it is defining property of living beings. Each living being is a complex entity which is formed of one or more molecules. The cells are made up of protoplasm, popularly called living matter. Composition of living matter is known. However, we have not yet been able to create protoplasm because of lack of organization of biomolecules. So definitely you can say that these are the characteristics features. Protoplasm and cellular structures are absent in viruses. This is again one important point. You can note it down, or you can remember that viruses, as you know, are kept between the at the border of living and non-living. So viruses outside is a non-living entity, but if when it enters our body, then it adopts the host mechanism and start replicating. So protoplasm and cellular structures are absent in viruses. Now we can see further what is organization, right? A living being has an organization. If it is a living being, it must have an organization. That is, the living being consists of several components and subcomponents which cooperate with one another for the well-being of the whole organism. A living being has multiple level of organization, like cellular level organization, tissue level organization. This we study under organization. Each level of organization has its own properties which are not found in its constituents. A cellular or a cellular organelle develops a property not found in its interacting molecular components. A living cell has its own characteristics not found in its organelles. It means that living cells has certain characteristics which may not be found in organelles. A tissue is able to have a trait not found in its constituent cells. It means that cells, organelles, and tissues are different and they are unique in their own ways. As you know, right, tissues are formed from cells. A group of cells forms a tissue, but a cell may differ from tissue. Now, next you see the process metabolism. I was talking earlier that metabolism, all the chemical reactions that takes place inside our body, is the sum total of all the chemical reactions that takes place in our body is known as metabolism. All organisms, you can see here, operate a network of thousands of chemical reactions. The sum total of all chemical reactions occurring in an organism due to specific interactions amongst different types of molecules within the interior of cells is called metabolism. The word has come from Greek metabol, means to change. Metabolism is defining property of living beings. So this you can know. This you can just remember that metabolism is one characteristic and defining property of living beings. It does not take place in non-living. All activities of an organism include growth, movement, development, responsiveness, reproduction, etc. are due to metabolism. So this is a characteristic feature of living organism. There are two types of metabolism, like anabolism and catabolism. You must have read earlier. Anabolic is a constructive process and catabolic a destructive process. Anabolism, you can see here, refers to the chemical reactions occurring in living beings for the sake of additions like photosynthesis, growth and repairing. These are the examples of anabolic process. Photosynthesis, as you know, is a building up process, right? It results in the formation of food substance, right? And growth and repair, these are the examples of anabolism. Catabolism refers to the chemical reactions occurring in living beings for the sake of breakdown, like digestion and respiration. Digestion, as you know, another important processes in our life. That digestion, the food we take are digested with the help of enzymes. So definitely digestion and respiration are examples of catabolic process, whereas photosynthesis is an example of anabolic process. Now energy, as I told you, that energy is required for the maintenance of life. Whatever we do, we require energy. Living beings constantly require energy, not only to perform various activities of the body but also to overcome entropy or tendency to randomness. The source of energy is food. Obviously, I explained you, it is required by every cell of the body. Nutrition, all living beings require food that is used as a source of energy and materials for the life processes such as maintenance, growth and repairing. So nutrition, by nutrition the nutrition, as I defined earlier, the process of intake of nutrients is known as nutrition. And nutrition, right, we get food, we get energy, and this is required for maintenance, growth and repair of different body cells and parts. Now those living beings specialized for using light energy carry out photosynthesis and contain pigments including chlorophyll, which absorb light. Plants, algae and photosynthetic bacteria, they are autotrophs or holophytes, and the nutrition is autotrophic. As I explained you earlier, there are mainly two types of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Plants are example of autotrophs. They manufacture or synthesize their own food, whereas the heterotrophs are dependent on autotrophs, right? You can say the bacteria, the animals, fungi, right? They are heterotrophs. Those living beings which are, right, which use chemical energy must obtain it from the living beings, and they are known as, you can say, this is heterotrophs, or their mode of nutrition is known as heterotrophic nutrition. It further, you can say, heterotrophs may be defined as holozoic, saprozoic and parasitic. The word parasitic has come from parasite. They just exploit from the host. They take energy and nutrition from the host. Holozoic refers to the eating, engulfing or swallowing of food solid by the animals. So amoeba is an example of holozoic means of nutrition. It means that it engulfs or swallow the food. Saprozoic are also called saprophytic, refers to the absorption of food from dead and decaying materials, either of animal or plant origin. Euglena. Euglena is a borderline between plants and animals. So different terms you can remember, that saprozoic, heterotrophic and autotrophs.